Welcome to the Answers for Elders radio show. Meet the trusted experts who will give you straight answers and will help guide you on the path of later life care. Now, here's your host, founder, caregiver, and CEO, Suzanne Newman.
And welcome back, everyone, to Answers for Elders Radio Network. And we're here with Brittany Fleshman. And Brittany is the Vice President of Culture and Program Development for MorningStar Senior Living. And for those of you that have listened to our podcasts, go on Answers for Elders. There's some landing pages. You can see a little bit about what MorningStar does. And there's a lot of content that we have with MorningStar Senior Living. So if you're thinking about, it might be time to start looking for another living opportunity, either for yourself or for a loved one. I hope that you'll consider at least, looking at MorningStar, because I think there's a lot of really unique, wonderful things about that human side, that side of developing something greater in the world. And I think you guys have really shown that from the core of who you are all the way to how you demonstrate that throughout the world. And Brittany, I want to go back in our final segment. You said really quickly some 4 basic principles, and I know we were in a hurry to get those done, but I really want to zero down in what each one of those principles mean. So would you just give us a little review on those?
Absolutely. And we actually have 3 of those.
Oh, 3. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's okay. So our first one is that we honor God in our business practices and relationships. And what that really means is we do the right thing, right? Whether someone's watching you or not, and we treat people how we want to be treated. Yep. Mm-hmm. And that is our focal point. And so when you do that, that's our service at its finest, I think. Our second principle is that we value all seniors as gifted and contributing individuals. And like we've talked before, our residents have so much to give. We have a video called Twice the Story. And the reason why it's called Twice the Story is that we understand every one of our team members comes to MorningStar with their story. And every one of our residents comes with that story, with their story. But the second that our residents meet us and we meet them, we will never not be a part of their story, and vice versa. And there's a lot of power behind that. I always tell people, like, I don't want to learn the hard way. I don't know who does, but we don't have to when we stop and truly listen to our residents. They have been there and done that, and they've succeeded, and we have it at our fingertips. What an amazing job to have.
Well, and it also, when you're saying that, it's like, it's the dignity piece that, oftentimes I've seen people, and I'm just going to be general because I'm not, but it bothers me, even adult children, not treating an elder loved one with dignity and with respect. I think one of the things that we get lost in is that we see this person, if they have dementia or they have mobility issues, or they, become more vulnerable, we want to treat them like children. And they're not children. No. And I think that's the thing that, it makes my skin crawl when people say, well, it's time to parent your parents now. You will never be the parent of a parent, and you will never, this is about, I think if something makes my skin crawl more, that's that dynamic of the, demeaning a loved one because they're vulnerable. And that's something that I think, you guys can absolutely probably relate to, have seen it a lot more even than I have. And it's something that I think that, the world, unfortunately, we get back to this culture in the USA where seniors are not treated as they should be.
Right.
And you guys have really kind of said, we're going to raise the bar 20 times fold, and you can pretty much guarantee that if someone lives in their community, your community, they're going to be respected.
Absolutely. And there's our core values again, that love, that honesty, that kindness, that goodness, and that fairness and respect. And
Mhm.
Morningstar, we exist today because Ken Yeager, our CEO and founder, he worked with another senior living company for 15 years, and they
Mhm.
are all beautiful. They are all wonderful
Yeah.
in a sense, but he said one thing was missing, and that foundation was love. And he said he wanted to create a company where he could sleep at night knowing if his parents or grandparents were living in one of his
Yeah.
homes, that they were being loved. And
Can I
that's why
trust you?
and I
Yeah.
trust you, right? And when you selflessly love anyone, you will do anything for them.
Mhm.
And that's
Mhm.
again why we hire for heart, because we know that they will be taken care of well and loved and valued.
Yeah.
And there's that trust again, like you said.
And I think too, when in talking about this whole piece is the fact that, you know, sometimes people forget when they go to work, they have challenges in their own life, and to have this culture reinforced every day, it really comes out to this principle of, how do we treat people? How do we work with people? And it's almost a relief to leave your own, drama behind
Yeah.
and be able to come into a community, into a culture that you're reminded of what's most important in the world. And I think that's really sometimes, if people go through hardships or whatever, sometimes they're in conflict with a loved one. Maybe they've had an argument with someone, and to be able to come to work and know that, you're respected as a person, you're loved, it helps you heal from other things that are going on in your life. And I think that's the thing that I've had to learn. We go through all kinds of things in our lives,
Yeah.
but I learned that, what you focus on is the quality of your life. And
Right.
that's what I think is really important, because if somebody lives in your communities, they have this complete environment of respect,
Mhm.
love, caring, service. And
Right.
that's the thing I think that that I've seen anyway.
Right. And I think that follows perfectly with our last principle, that we invest generously in our team's ability to serve well,
Mhm.
because if
Yeah.
they're taken care of and they're loved and appreciated and respected, the kind of quality of care that we're giving to our residents just
Mhm.
skyrockets. And,
Yeah.
and that's why those three pillars align so beautifully with what Morningstar stands
Yeah.
for, and that we're meeting the needs and exceeding those needs and expectations of our residents, our families, and our team members.
Well, and it just goes right back to the little ladies that sell candies.
Yes,
Candy,
exactly.
to your team member. And I love that. I
Yes.
love that story. I sit there and I think to myself, these women, they sit there every Thursday, they're down there at the table, they're selling candy. Everybody goes down and buys candy from them. And of course, seniors love sweets, right? So it's so perfect. And you see, I walk in there every time. If I'm there on a Thursday, I'll drop $10 down. They're doing this every Thursday and collecting this money, and then they get to be a vote on who gets this scholarship. They get to be a part of something within their community, but that's because of the staff. That's
Yeah.
because the environment in which they live in has this amazing support of giving, and this is how it creates. And I think a lot of people, having that sense of purpose and having that sense of, I made an impact, I made a difference, is so important to quality of life.
I agree. I agree completely with you. So, and that's our focus. That is
Yeah.
our focus.
Yeah. And then you obviously, I'm sure you have a million stories, but we have about 4 minutes left, and 3 minutes. And I want to just zero in on, if someone calls Morningstar and, what are they going to experience when they pick up that phone?
Absolutely. I think, well, first and foremost, our concierge, they're amazing. They are our brand. They're the first person you see and speak to, and they know, they are well trained on who we can send those callers to immediately.
Mhm.
And most
Mhm.
times it's going to be either our marketing team or our executive director. And they
Sure.
can get all their answers right then and there on the phone too. Like, I don't know what to expect. This is what's going on. Help me out. And that's where we start. Here's, here's what you need to know. Here's what we do and what we provide. And then we offer them to come in and take a tour, sit down and have lunch with us, have lunch with the residents.
Experience the food, meet the residents.
Yes,
exactly.
Experience those activities that go on day in and day out.
Yeah.
And our care team loves to introduce themselves to our new family members and residents, touring the halls with our marketing team. So you get firsthand experience of who these amazing people are that are going to be taking care of your loved ones right from the get-go.
And I think the other thing, Brittany, that I want to emphasize to our listeners too, is that it's okay if you don't fit into a community. I know that it's not for everyone, but to have an opportunity to learn what it is. I think one of the things that happens in people have different ideas of what goes on in senior living, and they don't take the time to kind of discover it. And there's a lot of families that are sacrificing their own lives to care for loved ones that is kind of above their pay grade. In other words, they're not able to do their needs are more, demanding than what they're capable of doing. And that's the thing that, to feel good about having a wonderful place where your loved one, your senior loved one, can thrive and be happy is what every family wants. And I know that, with my mom, there was some resistance at first saying, no, I want to go back home and, and all these things. But, it's not healthy to go sit at home by yourself. No. It's not healthy to be in a situation where all you're doing all day is watching TV. That's a downhill fast type of a scenario. And so finding those things to have that outlet and to do that, I think is amazing. And to be able to pick up the phone and call an organization like MorningStar is incredible. It gives that opportunity to live life more vibrantly and certainly much more joyously. And so, Brittany, again, how do we reach you?
So I say the best practice is just to go onto MorningStarSeniorLiving.com and then pick your closest location, and there's a phone number right there. You can call the community directly, or you can even call our home office, and somebody will assist you in any direction. And I also want to say too that if MorningStar is not a good fit, we're not going to hide that from you. We'll give you any avenue you need to take to help you take care of your loved ones.
Absolutely. And the other thing is that I'm going to bring up really quick. I know we're out of time, but if you're a military veteran and you served any time in wartime and need care, there are benefits available to help, pay for your senior living. So there's a lot of different options for you, and we are excited. Obviously, Brittany, thank you so much for being on the program. And, I'm just thrilled that you've spent the time with us.
Thank you so much, Suzanne.
And to each and every one of you, I am very glad to have had this hour talking about culture. And as we reach the holiday season this year, I want everyone to think about culture in your own family. What can you do to make a difference around your family this year? And make sure you check out our Family Advocate Guide. Go on to the seniorresource.com or Answers for Elders. We have a free guide on how to get through the holidays together, and we're looking forward to serving you very soon. We at Answers for Elders thank you for listening. Did you know that you can discover hundreds of podcasts in our library on senior care? So visit our website and discover our decision guides that will help you also navigate decision making. Find us at AnswersForElders.com.